Welcome to Flawless Shoe Reviews. Today we're comparing the Hoka Bondi 9 with the On Cloudmonster 2. Two max stability shoes, but they feel completely different underfoot, whether you want to use them for lifestyle or for running. When we look at the Bondi, we've got a brand new foam underneath your foot in the supercritical foam. So we saw this in more of the high-end running shoes, but they've brought it in to the Bondi 9, which is typically known as an easy running shoe or as a lifestyle shoe. So this is softer than what we saw in the Bondi 8, so you sink into it a little bit more, and you've got more padding underneath your foot, with 43 mils in the rear foot, 38 in the forefoot, giving you a 5 mil drop. In contrast to that, in the On Cloudmonster 3, we've got the firm Helion cushioning in the Cloud Tech midsole, so we can see that we've got the classic On Cloud pockets between the midsole. They're relatively firm despite looking rather soft, so when you apply pressure to them you sink into a little bit, but it transitions you back out relatively quickly. And it's got a TPU plate that runs through the midsole that makes the shoe a little bit firmer underfoot, and that helps with avoiding that softness and mushy feeling, giving you a more even distribution of pressure across the foot. We've got 35 mils of cushion in the rear foot, 29 in the forefoot, giving you a 6 mil drop rather than the 5 mil drop that we saw in the Bondi, and it's slightly lighter, coming in at 295 grams versus 297 grams in a size 9 men's US. So when you're walking in it, it's really comfortable, relatively soft, you sink into it, but when you run, it transitions really quickly from the back to the front of the shoe. So I must say, of all the max stack shoes, it's one of the quicker, faster shoes despite the weight. While in the Bondi 9 we found that it's a little bit slower to transition from the heel to the midfoot, and gets a little bit stuck in the midfoot before you transition through to the forefoot. So it's very much focused on comfort and that cloud-like feeling. When you're walking around, it's much softer than the Cloudmonster 2, so you sink into it a lot more. Not as mushy as what we saw in the 1080 V13, but it's relatively comfortable, nice and soft. If you're looking for loads of padding underneath your heel and your forefoot, then the Bondi 9 is an excellent option. And as we move along the shoe, it's a bit stiffer in the forefoot in the Bondi 9, mainly to do with that extra padding that we got underneath the forefoot, whereas we've got a lot more flex on the Cloudmonster 2. And as we move up the shoe, they're completely different as well. And while they're both true to size and length, we've got a single engineered mesh that's really thin with a thin gusseted tongue on the Cloudmonster 2, whereas we've got a thick, more plush engineered mesh with a padded tongue on top of the Bondi 9. So a lot more focus on comfort, whereas this is focused on lightening the shoe, and it wraps around your foot nicely without feeling too tight. It has plenty of space in the toe box, and we got even more space in the Bondi 9, and it comes in a wide version as well. And when we look towards the heel, we've got a bit more padding on the Bondi 9 around the heel cup, and we've got plenty of flexibility on the back of the On Cloudmonster 2. So if you have any issues with sensitivity on the back of the heel, you'll enjoy the Cloudmonster 2 more than the rigidity that we find in the Bondi 9. Now that element of rigidity adds extra elements of stability to the shoe. So we've also got large sidewalls on the inside and the outside of the shoe to help cradle your heel, alongside the stiff heel counter to add elements of stability to the shoe. Saying that, it's still a classic neutral shoe in the Bondi 9, and we've got a classic neutral in the Cloudmonster 2 as well. So while it has some big sidewalls on the inside and the outside, and some stability features by having that extra TPU plate and elements of firmness, you might classify it as a stable neutral, but for us to sit in as a classic neutral. Then in terms of use cases, so as a lifestyle shoe, they're both exceptional, really comfortable, perfect for standing for long periods of time walking on concrete. When it comes to running, I think they're slightly different. Yes, they can be used as cruisers for long distance running, for easy runs. The heavier weight impedes them a little bit for really fast workouts, but actually for a max cushion shoe, I think you can do some early stage up tempo workouts with the On Cloudmonster 2. It transitions really well, has a nice aggressive forefoot rocker to help with that push off phase of the gait cycle. So an excellent option if you're looking for max cushioning, happy to sacrifice a little bit of weight as a result. We've got links to both of them in the description for Amazon if you want to check out the latest prices. If you purchase through the links, it doesn't affect the price that you pay, but helps fund our channel. Otherwise, any questions on them, please drop them in the comment section below. Like and share and subscribing does make a massive difference to the channel. Thank you very much for watching.